Hello and welcome to the Sewing Studio. I'm Anna, and in this video I am going to talk you through the Janome J3-24 sewing machine. I'm going to show you all its features, tell you everything that comes in the box, get it plugged in, show you how to thread it, do some sewing, and then talk a bit about warranty and support. So we've split all those into chapters, so if there's a particular section you're interested in, feel free to head straight onto there. So the J3-24 is a mechanical sewing machine of standard size, so it has 6 inches of space to the right of the needle. It's got 24 different stitch options, and those are all conveniently listed on the front of the machine. You've got your standard utility stitches, and then you also have stretch versions of those stitches. They're all lettered and easily selected with this dial here. You then have the ability to change the length of the stitch up to 4 mm and the width of a stitch up to 5 mm. There's also an automatic one-step buttonhole, and you've got your reversing lever to secure those seams. The presser foot has an extra high lift so that you can get any bulky items in underneath, and the feed dogs drop for any kind of free motion or darning work. It's got a built-in needle threader, you'll be pleased to hear, and a manual thread cutter. Now the bobbin is a front-loading bobbin, so that pops in there, and I'll show you how to do that when we get to the sewing section. You've also got your free arm, and then a little bit of storage for the accessories in the tray there. Speaking of the accessories, it comes with the standard foot that will already be on the machine, a zipper or piping foot, an adjustable blind hem, a satin stitch foot, and a foot for your one-step buttonhole, along with a range of accessories, and an instruction book, your combined foot pedal and power lead, and also a hard cover. Now this machine weighs around 6 kilos, so it's nice and light, and this helps to keep it protected when transporting it, but also when storing it away. So let's plug the machine in, I'll show you how to thread it, and we'll do some sewing. So I've plugged the machine in and switched it on. The light is now visible. So let's get it threaded. You've got 2 spool pins here that pop up, and then they retract for when you're storing it away so they don't get damaged. You've got 2 for if you were sewing with a twin needle or a double needle. It doesn't matter which one you use for threading the machine. So I'm just going to drop the thread on there, and then everything is numbered. So you go under there, number 1, down and around number 2, and now number 3 should be in the take-up lever, but I can see it's not there for me to thread, and that's because the needle's not in the home position, if you like. So you just turn the hand wheel towards you, always towards you, and you can see that's now popped up. So I'm just going to go back and forth, and you're aiming for the thread to be in the very front of that lever. Number 4 is in behind that guide, and number 5 is the very last guide just above the needle. You've also got a second one there, again, if you were doing any twin needle work. Now for the needle threader, this is a device that you pull down, and then there's a little hook that pops through the eye of the needle. Now this comes down to the same point every single time. So we need to make sure that the eye of the needle is in the right position. Now quite handily, that is usually when this take-up lever is in its highest position. So you will have already done that to thread it. So in theory, it should be in the right position. So you just bring it down and forward, and then lay the thread in underneath, draw it back, and then you've got your loop to pull through. And that's the top threaded. So for the front loading bobbin, just pop the tray off, pull down the cover, and then there's a little lever here, and you can pull out the case. When you first get the machine, there will be an empty bobbin inside there. And then the tail of the thread needs to be to the right. That's important, it has to be that way around, else you'll have tension issues and tangles. And you just come up through the slit and under the plate. And to put it back in, you want this little arm here to line up, I'll just show you, with the little notch in the top of the ring there. And you just push until you hear a click. just like that. And to draw up the bobbin thread, hold on to the needle thread, turn the hand wheel always towards you, don't forget, until the needle goes down and up, give a little tug on the needle thread, and then there's your bobbin thread up to the top. Pop the door closed and pop the tray back on. So let's have a look at a standard straight stitch. So you can see that's here. You've got it either in the centre position or in the left position. So you've got A and B, which are here, and then the length, I'm going to go about 2.5, and then the width is also your needle position. So if you're on 0 width, you can see your needle position is to the left, which is the B, and you can move it any way you want up to 5, and then that's in the middle position. So if you're sewing a zip or sewing piping or something like that, you can see that's moving the needle position, so you can get nice and close so that your zip is by the, so that the line of sewing is by the teeth of your zip, or that your piping is encased nice and tightly. So I like to sew in the centre position, so I'm going to keep it on 5. And there is little symbols, not sure if you can quite see them there, with a little sort of pinhole and the needle hole that shows you to the left and the centre there. So drop your needle in and pop your foot on the foot pedal. To reverse, you just want to pop the reverse lever down, go back as far as you want to, leave go of the lever, and there you go. Sorry, I can't believe I just said leave go. It's a bit of a Cornish saying, but basically it means let go. And there's your standard straight stitch. That's the top and that's underneath. So selecting between the different stitches, let's go to a zigzag, which is letter C. So I'm just going to turn the selector dial to letter C. Let's stay on 2.5 stitch length, and actually let's go for the maximum width of 5mm. I'm just going to snip off those bits of thread. So that's kind of a standard length, but quite a wide width. So let's take that down a bit narrower. And then if you were doing a plique or something like that, and you wanted the stitches to be very, very close together, you can take the length down to 1 or below 1 if you want to. And then the width depends on the size of your applique, but let's go for 2.5. Let's go a bit bigger actually, because it's most likely to be bigger, 3.5. Might just take it down a bit more. And there you can see how you can adjust the length and the width on the zigzag stitch to get different stitch options again from the 24 that's on the machine. For the buttonhole, you want to grab the buttonhole foot and you just push the back out, pop your button in and squeeze it back down as far as it will go. And you've then got a distance there that is the same distance at of the button with 2mm added, so that the button goes in and out of the buttonhole nice and easily. And then we need to pop this foot on in place of this one, and these just drop off by pushing that lever. And then what you're doing is lining this up with the bar on the front there. So you can use the extra lift to get that in underneath and then just drop it down on that pin. And the next thing you want to do is get your needle thread under the foot. And the easiest way to do that is to pop a piece of fabric in, turn your needle so it drops down, back up again, and then just pull your fabric through. And they're both underneath. And then very importantly, you know, I was saying there's the distance there for your buttonhole. There's a little sensor behind the built-in needle threader that comes down. And then that is how the machine knows when to stop sewing and do the bar tacks at the back and come forward again to do it in one step. So here's your one-step buttonhole symbol. So you want to find this on all of your dials. So if you come around to the buttonhole there, and then we just happen to be on it here, so you've got a bit of tolerance in the stitch length, between 0 and 1. I'm going to stay about midway. And then the needle position you want to be in the centre, so the stitch width needs to be right the way around on number 5. Now you might want to mark a little line on your fabric for where the buttonhole is going to start, and it's going to sew it in that direction there. So just pop your fabric underneath, just tip that up, drop your presser foot down, pop your needle in, and away you go. Now when you're coming back down the right hand side, what you want to do is just lean in and look at where it's going, because it's down to us to take our foot off the foot pedal once it joins in the front of the stitch again. And you can see you can sew really quite slow to get that accurate. I'm just going to pull that out. And there's your nice neat buttonhole. That's the top and underneath. Let's move on to a couple of different types of fabric. So we'll sew some jersey first. So I'm going to pop a jersey needle in. And these take just standard universal needles with the flat back. Insert it as far up as it will go. Thread through the eye. So I'm just going to pop the standard foot back on. So this jersey has quite a lot of stretch in it. So I'm going to choose the triple straight stitch, which you can see is here in orange on A. So I'm going to take my selector back to letter A, and then on the stitch length dial you've got the same orange symbol here with an SS for stretch stitch, and then you've got a bit of tolerance in the length. As this is so stretchy, I'm going to go on the higher side, and then it's a straight stitch, so we don't need any width at all. Pop the fabric in. Go. And that's the triple stretch stitch. No skip stitches because we've got the right needle in. The seam's nice and stretchy. It's not going anywhere. Lastly, we'll take a look at the thicker side of fabrics. So I've got some denim. I'm going to pop the jeans needle in. And I'm already on the straight stitch, but I don't need the stretch version because this denim has no stretch in it at all. As it's thicker than the cotton we were using, I'm going to go for a longer stitch length. And again, it's a straight stitch, so I don't need any width. Just put them together. There you go. It's a nice, consistent, neat stitch. Nothing skipped. And again, the seam is secure. So let's double that over and go for 4 layers. Again, I'm just going to snip off my excess thread. Pop that in. And the machine's done a really nice job of that. Again, consistent stitching, nothing skipped, and lovely and secure. So this machine comes with Janome's 2-year warranty, as standard. You can extend that to 5 years if you wish to, and there'll be a card like this in the box that explains all that to you. And don't forget, we're here at the Sewing Studio for any help or advice that you might need with your new machine. Now, I hope I've been able to demonstrate to you just how easy this machine is to both thread and to use, and its capabilities to help you decide if it's the right machine for you. If so, head on over to our website and grab yours now. Delivery is fast and free. And if you're still not sure, no problem, just get in touch. We're sewers ourselves and we know our machines inside out, so just pick up the phone, send us an email or pop on live chat. We're waiting to hear from you.